Former President Trump's challenging week ahead. He has a hearing this week in the federal classified documents case against him in Florida. Now, if he appears, it would be his first court appearance in that case since he was arraigned. ABC's Faith Abube joins us live from Georgia, another state where the former president has a hearing this week. Good morning to you, Faith.
Good morning to you, Janae. Former President Donald Trump does have a full legal calendar. Now, it's unclear at this point whether he will actually show up at that private proceeding in Florida in his federal criminal case accusing him of taking and failing to return classified documents after his time in office. Special prosecutor Jack Smith's team and Trump's attorneys are arguing over several legal issues, including whether secret government information should be disclosed in court documents and how witnesses should be protected after prosecutors say others have been harassed and intimidated. Trump has pleaded not guilty and says this case is politically motivated. His case is ramping up just days after special counsel Robert Hur cleared President Biden in his classified documents probe. Trump, while president, appointed Robert Hur as U.S. attorney, but it was Attorney General Merrick Garland who elevated him as special counsel in the Biden case. In a scathing report, Hur declined to charge President Biden, pointing out stark differences between the two cases, saying Biden cooperated with investigators while Trump allegedly tried to obstruct the case and allegedly conspired to block investigators from actually recovering the classified documents, adding that he couldn't prove in front of a jury that Biden intentionally violated the law. Now, as for his own legal troubles, Trump does have a significant week ahead. He has that court hearing in Florida, but he also has hearings here in Georgia and also in New York. Janae.
Definitely a busy week ahead. Faith, thank you. Now let's bring in ABC's Jonathan Karl. We'll be hosting This Week Later. John, good morning. Always great to have you. Let's talk about the special counsel report regarding President Biden. How serious a hit has his campaign taken from that?
Well, look, on the positive side, they found that they couldn't take criminal charges here. No recommendation of any prosecution, any indictment. But it's quite devastating on a number of levels. First of all, it shows he clearly mishandled classified documents. It's very different than what Trump did, but it's not good. But the most devastating thing are the comments about his age, with the special counsel here in a legal document describing the president of the United States as a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. That is a phrase you are going to hear over and over again in this campaign now, thanks to the special counsel.
And we saw the president's reaction to that, how upset he was about it in that press conference. You have a big interview ahead on This Week this morning with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and you asked him about the president. Let's take a look at that.
What's your assessment of him?
Well, John, I've had more than a dozen phone conversations, extended phone conversations with President Biden. He also came on a visit to Israel during wartime, which is a historic first. And I found him very clear and very focused. We managed to agree on the war aims and on many things. Sometimes we had disagreements, but they weren't born of a lack of understanding on his part or on my part. So that's what I can tell you. So I haven't seen that.
What's your take on that, John?
Well, first of all, this was an extraordinary interview with the Israeli Prime Minister. We spoke about his efforts. He's talking about a new military ground incursion into Rafah, the southern part of Gaza. The United States is warning, saying absolutely do not do that under the current circumstances, that it will be a humanitarian catastrophe. So I spoke to him about that. But this was interesting because you have to keep in mind that when the special counsel interviewed President Biden, it was in October of last year. It was just right after Hamas attacked Israel. And in that week, Netanyahu had 4 separate phone conversations, detailed conversations with President Biden. And of course, as he mentioned in that quote, Biden actually then flew over to Israel and met with him in person. So his assessment, even as Biden is strongly criticizing Israel and strongly criticizing Netanyahu over their conduct in Gaza, on this question of Biden's mental acuity, you heard from the Israeli prime minister that, in his view anyway, Biden is very much on top of developments over there.
That is in his view, and the timing of this interview, John, really incredible. Just days after talk of a ceasefire and now expanding that ground invasion to Rafah. John, thank you. And make sure to tune in to This Week later this morning for more of John's interview with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, plus the latest on the 2024 election with Senator Chris Coons of Delaware and Georgia Governor Brian Kemp.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.